In 3, 2, 1.
7 things you probably didn't know you need to know. I'm Jamie East, and this is the Smart 7.
Good morning, everybody. It's Friday the 29th of July, and it's International Tiger Day. And a big happy birthday to Fernando Alonso, Stephen Dorff, Sally Gunnell and Will Wheaton. Nadine Dorries has renewed her attack on Tory leadership hopeful Rishi Sunak, defending her tweet in which she took a swipe at his £450 Prada shoes, comparing them to Liz Truss's £4.50 Claire's earrings. The Culture Secretary also shared her theory on what caused the Prime Minister's downfall.
It is not a secret that things happened that shouldn't have happened and that Boris Johnson was removed via a coup.
Speaking of Rishi Sunak, Boris Johnson appeared to hit out at the former Chancellor after Rishi announced he'll cut VAT on energy bills if he's elected as the next Tory leader. Boris was speaking at the Commonwealth Business Forum in Birmingham.
Taking advantage of all our new regulatory freedoms, getting rid of every encumbrance from Solvency II to MiFID to VAT on fuel. Turns out to be easier than we thought.
And Tory MP Caroline Noakes shared her assessment of the Conservative leadership campaign. The chair of the Women and Equalities Committee seemed disappointed all round.
This could have been an opportunity to showcase all the talents, and I don't like the mudslinging and the personal attacks, and I think that they're inappropriate.
However, while the Tories may be having a disaster, the Labour Party aren't doing much better. After Sam Tarry's unceremonious dismissal, Labour leader Sir Keir Starmer faced backlash from the unions and the left wing of his party over the move. The Labour leader fired Mr Tarry from his role as Shadow Transport Minister after he gave interviews from the picket line that were unauthorised by the party. But speaking on Thursday, Keir said he had no choice.
Sam Tarry was sacked because he booked himself onto media programmes without permission and then made up policy on the hoof. And that can't be tolerated in any organisation because we've got collective responsibility.
But Diane Abbott was having none of that. The Labour MP made a strong case about the real reason for Sam Tarry's sacking, and she did not hold back.
Everybody knows Sam Tarry wasn't sacked for what he said in interviews. He was sacked because he went on a picket line. It is quite wrong to sack shadow ministers because they go on picket lines. It's also completely unprecedented.
And former Shadow Chancellor John McDonnell thinks Labour's missing a massive opportunity to gain an advantage in the polls.
I don't know who's advising Keir Starmer, but this is a completely unnecessary row that's been invented just at a time when the Tories are tearing themselves apart.
US military analysis of the situation in Ukraine says it appears Russia may have run out of steam. US officials also estimate that Russian fatalities in the war are in the tens of thousands. It comes as Ukraine make a determined attempt to push Russia out of the Kherson region, and former US Army Major John Spencer says apart from anything else, with all of the long-range attacks from the newly supplied Western weapons, the Russians are running out of ammunition.
Even the MI6 director, as you know, said that they're about to run out of steam, the Russians are, but they're running out of ammo, they're running out of men to get to the front lines, and people with 5 days of training being pushed into Ukraine to fight for Russia.
Back in the UK, an English criminal court has been televised for the first time. Cameras were allowed inside London's Old Bailey on Thursday during the sentencing of a man convicted of manslaughter.
The sentence I pass upon you is therefore one of life imprisonment with a minimum term of 10 years and 8 months. Once you have served that term, you will be entitled to apply for parole.
The government says the move will give the public a greater understanding of the judicial process. But barrister Adam Wagner says while it's a small step, we won't reach the stage anytime soon where people can watch an entire trial like in the United States. He gave his thought on the new process.
I think it's a really good idea. I think justice should be done and seen to be done.
Still to come on the Smart 7, Boris takes a swipe at the EU in his Commonwealth Games speech, and Game of Thrones fans get ready to judge the new prequel.
Right after this. Welcome back.
Prince Charles was in attendance on Thursday night as the 2022 Commonwealth Games got underway in Birmingham. With sportsmen and women competing from 72 different nations and territories, it's set to be a spectacular 10 days of sport. The opening ceremony was dramatic, with a 10-foot animatronic bull, a Union Jack made of cars, and appearances from Malal Yousafzai, Tom Daley, and a performance from local band Duran Duran. Boris kicked off the celebrations earlier in the day with some hilarious Brexit-themed jokes.
And though France and Germany are not members of the Commonwealth, or not yet, why not? Let them in. Let the whole EU in. Logical solution. Maybe maybe here in Birmingham we can beat Australia again.
The stars have been walking the black carpet at the LA premiere of the much-anticipated House of the Dragon. It's a tough task to step into the shoes of Game of Thrones, and some of the cast members of HBO's new prequel show sounded a little nervous about what the fans are expecting. Rhys Ifans is one of the new faces.
It's a huge show, and they're big boots to fill, we'll see.
Paddy Considine also joins the cast ahead of the release on the 22nd of August in the UK. He was chatting about what the show was and what it definitely wasn't.
It was important to say that it's not a spin-off. That's important. It's the story. It's not a continuation because it's set in the past. But it doesn't feel like a spin-off. I don't think that's like what I signed on for.
You can follow all the twists and turns, by the way, with our brand new podcast, Dragoncast, which will take you inside every episode as it happens. The stars of Doctor Who have led the tributes to TV legend Bernard Crippens following his death aged 93. The veteran actor began as a child TV star and went on to have a varied career with memorable roles as the voice of the Wombles and the Railway Children, Fawlty Towers and later in life Doctor Who. He was honoured along with the cast at the National Television Awards.
From Julie and Russell at the top right down to the runners Tom and Blood, wherever she is tonight. The whole team down there are certainly the best I think I've ever worked with in British television. Ever.
He was more than just an actor, though. He also enjoyed a successful musical career. This is one of those songs you'll probably have stuck in your head all day. It's the original Right Said Fred. Rest in peace, Bernard.
Right said Fred, both of us together, one each end and steady as we go. Tried to shift it, couldn't even lift it. We was getting nowhere, and so we had a cup of tea.
This has been The Smart 7. Wherever you're listening, do us a favour and hit the follow button. We'll be back tomorrow at 7 a.m. Have a great day.
Written, produced and published by Nadine Dorries.